Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before anything else, I would like to congratulate the organizer of the Halal Conference, specifically Hajja Siti Shaima, Dr. Zenaida P. Haji Rauf Laidan, the chairperson of the National Halal Forum, and regional director of the DOST 12. Ma'am, congratulations, and it's very, it's a job well done, actually. Now, I'm supposed to talk to you today and tomorrow morning regarding Office on Muslim Affairs projects and programs, and tomorrow about the accreditation of the organizations in the Philippines, Islamic organizations at that, but I decided to include all of them this afternoon. Tomorrow, I will be in the Senate and then to Malacanang because we have to work out the current bill making OMA into a commission. December 1, the bicameral committee will convene at the Senate and will discuss the ongoing bill, and hopefully this will be signed by the President by December of 2009. Later on, I'll discuss with you the pertinent points regarding that bill. Now, what is the Office on Muslim Affairs, basically? When I was in a meeting in NEDA like 4 years ago, I just came then from the UP College of Law. During my senior year, I was appointed by the President and joined her administration. By the way, I'm not yet a lawyer. I joined the government during my senior year at the College of Law, and hopefully I'll take the bar when I'm jobless, inshallah. And I pray that won't happen, because I'll be going back to UP Law School. But anyway, 4 years ago, I was in NEDA, and I was very proud because finally I had my appointment as Director of the Office on Muslim Affairs. And in a gathering such as this one, I raised my hand and proudly say, my name is Director Lidasan from the Office on Muslim Affairs. And the NEDA people in Clark was looking at me and they asked me, are you from a people's organization? So can you imagine my astonishment? And I was surprised because even among government agencies, primarily policymakers, they have very little knowledge about the Office on Muslim Affairs, much less the public. So at that time, I was supposed to present the OMA's programs. I ended up telling them what OMA is all about. And ironically, OMA used to be a cabinet position in the time of Marcos. It used to be OMA CC. And then President Cory Aquino time, it was made to an executive order, making it under the Office of the President, an agency. And again, under President Arroyo, one of her legacies, next year, OMA hopefully will revert back to a cabinet level. The head of the agency will become Cabinet Secretary and will join the President during her cabinet meetings. One pertinent provision of that is that under the said bill, which hopefully will be made into law, is the provision that the government finally will regulate, promote, and develop halal in the Philippines. It did not say just the Office on Muslim Affairs. It says the government shall regulate, develop, and promote halal in the Philippines. That's precisely why OMA and DOST Region 12 signed a Memorandum of Understanding because we in OMA believe that one of the bedrock of halal in the Philippines is the Department of Science and Technology. And we firmly believe that only a Muslim can actually advance the cause of halal in the Philippines. We agree with that. Now, we proceed. What is OMA? Please give me indulgence. I'll be discussing to you what OMA is all about, just to give you an idea what this agency I'm supposed to represent. Now, my outline discussion basically will be the Office on Muslim Affairs, the role of OMA in the Philippine halal industry, and of course, issues, challenges, and opportunities. The current executive director of the Office on Muslim Affairs is a member of the famous Ampatuan Sangki clan. From those of you in Mindanao, you practically know who Datu Ali Sangki is. He's a member of the prominent royal family in Mindanao and is now heading the Office on Muslim Affairs. In one of his speeches, Datu Ali said, OMA is moving forward, creating partnerships and alliances towards sustainable delivery of services. And this morning's signing of MOU reflects the OMA's policy direction to sign a series of MOUs. Among them will be the MOU between the Department of Agriculture through the NMIS, the DTI through the Bureau of Export Trade Promotion, and so on and so forth. That is the office where I regularly and daily go. That is the Office on Muslim Affairs, central building located in Commonwealth Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City. It's 3 floors. The parking lot can accommodate more than 100 vehicles, and we have like 270 employees in that office. Throughout the country, we have 864 staff, full-time staff, but not all of them are Muslims. We also have, of course. Now, what's the legal mandate? I have to raise this in again because some people would believe that OMA is created primarily just to advance the interests of Muslims in Mindanao. Practically or primarily the ARM, the Autonomous Region and Muslim Mindanao. Our mandate is this. We have to develop and preserve the culture, traditions, institutions, and well-being of Muslim Filipinos in conformity with the country's laws and with national unity and development. And if you go further, you study the mandate of OMA, you will realize that anything that can be given to OMA has been given to OMA practically on all matters pertaining to Muslim affairs. Such as what? Political power, quasi-economic power, corporate functions, name it, we have it. Our clientele, basically, are the 13 ethno-linguistic Muslims. As you can see in number 13, we have created a new tribal group in Mindanao. And you call them Balik Islam. We included that because Balik Islam converts are growing very, very fast in the Philippines. To give an idea, we process roughly like 50 to 70 converts every day in the office. It dramatically increased that one British journalist went to OMA, visited my undersecretary, and asked, "What are you doing, OMA? You're practically converting the Philippines, a Catholic country, to Muslim." Letter B, we also cater to overseas workers. Here we have Muslims and non-Muslims seeking assistance on matters pertaining to work abroad. And lastly, of course, the private companies seeking assistance on their halal products. That is the organizational chart of the Office on Muslim Affairs. If you go